Greetings. I am your host, Nikisha Spiller, along with AJ Adams. And thank you for joining us as we rock truth or absolutely nothing at all. So, the music you hear today, we got a new little theme at the beginning that I love, and it's very, very relaxing. The Steppers Club by Gregory O's. And so, definitely, it's available on all streaming platforms at midnight tonight. Definitely go download. Let's support. Okay. We live in a society today where truth, even before our very eyes, is consistently questioned, criticized, and altered to fit a person's ideology of God's original intent for the kingdom and for mankind. We believe that the Bible, our kingdom constitution, is inspired, infallible, inherent, and the final authority for all. Rock True Queens is founded on He, who is the original point of reference for all things to come through eternity. The Rock True Queens is a cross cultural response to the generational, economical, and social concerns of the kingdom woman in today's society. Rock True Queens is established for each one to reach one, to teach one the lost art of embodiment as an inherent chosen daughter, therefore exposing the hidden in plain sight assassination attempt on the kingdom morals, integrity, and glory of her identity, ultimately healing the broken love language between the king and his queen by applying kingdom principles, revelation, and knowledge. The Rock True Queens seeks to inspire, enlighten, and highlight upcoming and established local, international king and queens of character while promoting Black consciousness and awareness who we are and to whom we belong. It is absolutely a kingdom renaissance. Hello, hello, hello. How you guys doing today? I have everybody. Hello, Shayna. Hey, AJ. All right. So how's
I was
everybody
muted.
doing?
Hey.
Hope everybody is having a wonderful free Friday on Thursday.
Yes, it's Friday Eve.
Yes, it's Friday Eve. So hoping everybody
Hey,
had a great
hey.
day. I see you out and about with the braids. Hello, Shayna. Hello to everybody who's watching and listening to us live. We have a great, great subject for tonight. AJ, how's your day been going? I see you out with the kiddos being mom of the year. How's that going?
Yes, listen. Football, cheer. It's my life from August to November.
Hi.
Hello. I
Yes, I
remember
know, but my
that.
day's been pretty good. Just being productive and trying to stay consistent with everything I got going on. So yeah, consistency is my word for the month.
I like that. I like that. Look, it's keeping the kids busy. The kids being busy means out of trouble with anything else.
Oh, I never complain about keeping them busy.
I used to be that
Never
kid.
ever.
Trust me. So, are you
Yep. But
ready
what you got
for
going on for
tonight?
today?
For me, been running, helping people, helping agents get squared away with licensing, ready to run and get some equity of our company. So, been
Perfect,
helping people
perfect.
today. And this month is Life Insurance Awareness Month. So,
I
um,
know. I saw that on your page today.
yes. So it's Life Insurance Awareness Month, and we want to do our best to educate our community on, being properly protected and what's out there
Yes.
and knowing all of their options. So I've been sharing on my Facebook like crazy, making ads. By the way, I made those by myself.
And not only is it something that's needed, but life insurance it's cheaper than a cost a pair of Jordans that you buy every week and get in line for.
And it can build you
So,
some savings for later in the future, and it cover
yep,
you when you're sick. Those Jordans are not going to pay for anything when you're sick. Okay,
nope,
and it can't take care of your family when you're gone. So
nope.
definitely, um, I tell people, I encourage people, hey, the quotes are
This
free.
one,
Go learn everything that you know from people that are going to tell you the full scope and all your options. So I told the gentleman today, if somebody tell you a bunch of pros but no cons, run really fast because everything has pros and cons.
exactly, exactly.
But I am
Well,
excited for our subject today of,
yes.
well, this month actually, we're covering Black men and seeing them in a positive light. And I don't think
Mhm.
that's talked about enough. And we're going to talk
No,
about
it's
a couple of
not.
things that usually aren't spoken about.
I
Um,
think when it comes to men, though, we don't highlight what they do outside of providing, protecting, which is something that's never, it's usually, oh, yeah, you're supposed to provide, you're supposed to protect as a man, but the other part of being a man, whether you're in a relationship or not, is never talked about or highlighted enough to show what they do, but also the things that are important to them, being who they are, as well as all the battles that they're facing on a daily basis.
mhm. And also, we got to wipe out some myths that are put out there, some negative images that are put out there on a consistent basis uh, with, Black men and men in general, that, we know people personally who are good, upstanding people, but we always highlight, of course, the bad always gets more highlighted than the good. But we have the power on our show on Rock Truth Queens to highlight the good, and that's what we want to do this month. And we're gonna have guests. We're gonna have men coming on, speaking on their experiences, different men from different backgrounds, and that's the part I'm excited about, to get their perspective. Not all men are out here trying to scam you or try to take advantage. There are some real men out here that will give you some sound advice on, you know, who they are, what they like. We can't put everybody in a box. You got to get to know people, because sometimes we miss out on valuable relationships because of preconceived notions or things that have been drilled in our head, uh, by society, by the world, by media, and we miss out sometimes on a person that could bless our life. Um, so I am excited to talk about that today, for sure. And yeah, like that's going to be a very great topic for the whole month, because there's so many things that we can discuss and so many avenues we can go down, um, and not a lot of platforms give Black men a voice to speak, per se. You hear from us all the time. Women, we love to speak. We're communicators. Black, men, not so much. Men, you kind of gotta pull it out of them. Uh, so definitely. I love this to men too. If you guys can see it on the screen, I love that so much. So yes, um, they matter. You gotta listen to them. Because men have emotions too. Um, and I definitely think we have a lot of
Say it
what's
one
up.
more time. Please say it again. One more time for the people in the back. Men have what
Men
once
have
again?
emotions too.
Yes,
Men
they
matter.
do.
Men have emotions too, and we
Yes,
can't
and
crucify them when they express themselves.
it's one of those things. It's like as a man, you can't cry, you can't show emotions, you can't show hurt. Yes, you can, because at the end of the day, you're a human first, and
Yep.
we all have emotions. We all have feelings. We all have different ways of expressing it, but to say no, you can't express it. Oh, because you're a man, you can't express it. Because you're a young man, you can't do that. No, no, you can.
I think that's why we have a lot of emotionally stunted men. So we can talk about that in the show today. But first, before we get into our topic, we're going to cut to our commercial to see what other valuable things we have going on with Rock Truth Nation. And we will be back and we will be having a great discussion. Tell everybody to tune in while we on break and on commercial break. Go get everybody so they can chime in on this subject. We love seeing you guys' feedback.
as the consumers. The
Right.
consumers also raise it because that I
Mhm.
love one thing. I was watching the Dave Chappelle special, and he was saying, "You know what? Now I'm gonna go to my real bosses." And his real boss was the audience, and he said, "I'm asking you guys,
Mm.
who are the consumers, to not purchase or participate
Mm-hmm.
in this." And
Sure
so that's the
did.
same thing. We didn't as well. We are the real
Absolutely.
bosses and are the
Do
machine.
Right.
You
me
know?
do me a favor on your platform, and again, I'm so humble and blessed to be on your platform. Do me a favor.
Yes, sir.
The same platform that you have right now and what you're doing right now. I don't even think you realize Rock Truth Radio stands for more than just Rock Truth Radio. Here's the
Mm.
difference with what you're doing culturally. You're talking about building a whole bunch of people that's looking at your show and looking at the sisterhood and brotherhood that you bring forth every single show. And it's showing them subliminally this is how you work together.
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
bridge you build
Yes,
for other
sir.
people to cross over back and forth. That's the kind of
Right.
platform that we need. That's the kind of positive energy that we need. If
Yeah.
if it's not for your show, how will younger people have
Yeah.
a first off a blueprint to follow
That's
and
right.
something to look forward to and to say, I don't really want to do the rest of that
Mm-hmm.
stuff that everybody else is doing. I
Come
need a
on.
show that is
Right.
indicative of who I am. And that's what Rock
Right.
Truth is all
Yes.
about.
Yeah.
So I'm so
Thank
humbled
you.
to be on your
Thank you.
platform. Thank you.
Thank you. And we're humble to have you. And I'm sorry,
Now,
just one last one, and then I'll let everybody else talk. But thank you for that. And just like you said, you stand independent. So do we. We are not, willing to do anything for any money. We're not willing to compromise anything. If we got to put in the work, we'll put in the work before we compromise ourselves and the God that we serve. But we don't need that. We're not here for that. We're here for his namesake solely. And so I'm so grateful that you've taken again the time to turn and see us for who it is that we are. That was yeah, I'm trying not to cry, Will. Yeah,
All right. We are back. All right. So make sure you tune in. We have other shows, days of the week. So be on the lookout. Follow us. But subject for today, well, for the month, we're covering Black men, positive light. Um, a lot of times, so law of attraction, right? Whatever you think is what you attract. So it's the same with words. So if we're constantly putting out bad, I guess, ideals and talking on ideals, that's what we perpetuate. Um, so today I was talking to somebody, a friend, Erica, and he's a father, a single father. And sometimes I think one thing that we overlook, there are men out here who are single dads who take care of their kids. I'm not talking about baby fathers. I'm not talking about part-time dads. I'm not talking about divorced men or married men. I'm talking about there are men out here who solely take care of their children. And I don't think it's discussed a lot because what's highlighted is most black men aren't around. Um, and so I feel like it's a myth that has been perpetuated for a long time that stems from something way back in slavery, of course. Um, but that if we really delve deep, it's a very deep rooted issue in our community. Um, but I've met quite a few single fathers who are on their stuff. So, um, AJ, what are your thoughts on that myth, that statement, that ideology? AJ, you there?
I'm here.
So, what is your ideology on that whole myth of the father, the single father, that there aren't good men out here that exist? um, that take care of their children?
I definitely feel like a lot of people do not talk about that part, and they don't highlight that because it's always the focus on the dads who don't, um, the dads who don't participate or who aren't there. And we need to focus more on the ones who are there, the ones who are present, the one who you're gonna know who they are at the PTO meetings. You're gonna know, you know, everything that they do. Don't.
You muted. Yeah.
So I definitely think that's something that needs to be talked about more so than anything.
Um, I know men personally who have actually had custody of their children. It's not an easy feat. I feel like definitely it should be paid respect to. I think sometimes when we see men do stuff, they usually see a woman doing. Sometimes we play it down, but um, I think that should be applauded because it is very is more. I say is more common than people think. Um, and they work hard. They want to get out. I'm like we need to start a program for single parents period that can support each other. Um, and not everybody, not all men, you know, dislike fatherhood. There are a lot of men who love being fathers, who love being father figure, being that role model figure. Um, and I think we need more of them in the community. I think they need to be highlighted more and seen. There are quite a few men I know who are role models and have stepped up and are model fathers, men, you know, respectable. They're not out here chasing skirts. They're not out here in the club. They're not. Let me drop my kids off so I can go do what I want to do. No, we have to stop perpetuating that because it's not always true. And we have to get that out of our head because there are a lot of great men out here that take care of their kids. Um, one gentleman actually in Gary, his name is Ken Patrick Berry, and he's very big on the youth and making sure that they have mentorship, especially the boys. And so I remember attending a event when I first got in contact with him and was connected with him, and he had an event like a tie, you know, a ceremony where the boys tied their first tie, and the men in Gary who were the positive influence to helping them be that person. And I thought that was pretty dope. And there were a lot of men, stand-up men who own businesses, who were dads to, you know, children, and a lot of those boys needed that guidance. Even one gentleman was a martial arts instructor who gave them more discipline. It was a young man who, from that program, it helped him get back on track in school, to get back where he needed to be because he didn't have that discipline at home or that structure at home. And being a part of that program helped him receive that focus he needed. And his grades improved, his behavior improved. So we cannot put out this myth that Black men are not valuable or that men are not needed. They are. We have to stop letting the world tell us that they're not, because everything's created for a purpose. God created men for a purpose. Anything that God has created is not of less value, and we have to stop selling that. Um, so, you know, there's a reason God created men and women. Father is things that men bring to the table as a father. Like for one, that bass in their voice. Uh, when we trying to get wrangle them in, we got to do a lot more work. But dad says, "Yo, one time," and kids are sitting down faster. Is this not true?
Not for me. Not for me. It was the opposite in my house. Um, in our
Really?
house, no, in our house, if my mother said move, you better move. There was no why or how soon. No, when she say go, you go. Now with my grandfather, her father, yes, granddad said do it, you better move. And my grandparents, neither one of my grandparents yelled. They never raised their voice. It was always, hey, or for him, he would say, "Gal, go do this," or "Gal," or whatever, do that, and you did it instantly. There was no question about, well, what do you want me to do it for, or when do you want me, or can I wait? No, it wasn't no. Give me 5 minutes. Granddad says this, you move. And when my grandmother, same thing. She didn't yell. She just said, "Hey, go do the dishes or go clean up
Mhm.
this." And if she said it again, go time. you're you're cooked. So no, but with my parents, no. My dad, no. But if my mother said it, we call her. Listen, no hesitation. My mother definitely was the authority figure in our house. So yeah.
Okay. But some dynamics are like that. Like my grandmother was like she was the disciplinary. My dad was laid back. My grandfather was very laid back. But you better not be disrespectful because it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So
Now my dad
something
did.
will
Well,
happen.
my dad attempted to discipline us. He hit us with the high pitched voice when he was mad, and it just we laughed. It was not anything good. We laughed. Um. So yeah. Um. Or and then later on, he would just threaten to call our mom. Like, mind you, we have all the same parents, and they've been married 40. Ooh, 40. Let me see, 43 years. But no, he would just say, I'm calling your mom while she was at work. And so, yeah, my dad hit us with the high pitched voice. So it's like, dude, I can't take you serious like that. But yeah,
Oh man, that's hilarious. But it's
I
funny to
know.
hear different dynamics in everybody's house though, Um do you think that black men being leaders is very much needed though in households? From what you're seeing now with this generation, are you seeing the effects of, black men not being present like that?
Oh, definitely. I feel like with some of the younger kids who don't have a huge male presence in their life. Not necessarily a man in their household, but just men in their village. I feel like they're being more so raised by whatever's on social media, whatever their favorite rapper is talking about, or just people in the neighborhood that are not for their better good, but more so just nuisance. Um, but I feel like kids, whether they have a father at home or not, and they have several men in their village who are there to guide them, they're definitely in a better place. Um, a better place as far as development
Right.
than ones who don't have that village behind them.
Do you think more programs are needed for young men that's targeted for that mentorship that I was talking about earlier?
Oh yeah, definitely. And you need it, and not even just for other men, but you need it for both the young men and the young women.
Hmm.
Just because they need that guidance, they need that other person to say, "Hey, you know what? I am here to support you. I'm not here to hurt you.
Hmm.
I'm here to, guide you along your way because life is hard. You're gonna need that village, and for some kids, um, who are raised by single moms, they might not have those other men in their lives to say, hey, you know what, I am a part of your village. So I feel like the mentor groups are definitely needed to help those who need that extra push.
I really believe too balance. You need, I feel like this. You can really tell a lot about a person by their household, their dynamic, because most of the time, your father is kind of what a girl's first interaction with a man, and a boy's first interaction with how to have male camaraderie. And then a female, for us, our mom is our first interaction with women. And, you know, so you need both because there's certain things that my dad can give me advice on as a man, and he give me the real rundown. And say, hey, look, everybody ain't out here to treat you like I do. Everybody not out here, but that relationship that you have with your father is very crucial. Of also your standards, what you expect, is your first image of what a man should be. And most people have walked out here with not having that example. So therefore they learn sometimes the hard way, you know. And then sometimes if you've had been spoiled, you think every man out here is going to treat you like your dad, and you've come to find out, no, they not, Sugarfoot. They not. That's the hardest lesson I think a lot of people will learn, especially women, when we don't understand men. I believe growing up, I believe that we should have been taught more properly on the realness of dating and the realness of how to get that from a man. Because that is a very big missing piece. A lot of times growing up, what are you told? Rules. Well, if you sleep with people outside of marriage, you're going to hell. Okay, but how do I vet these men?
Mhm.
How do I know if they're not running game on me? Like, how do I, become a friend with a gentleman, which goes into, another subject. Why you need male friends and how
You
to
know
be
what though?
male,
So
how to be friends with people.
it's it's funny you say that. So I have open conversations with my mother, but never with my dad. So I never got the male dating talk from my dad.
Hmm.
However, I got it from my male friends. I got it from my older male cousins. So that's
Okay.
where I got all my dating and everything from. But my dad, we didn't have those type of conversations. Um, so yeah, I didn't get any of that from him. But I had a lot of older cousins that were males. My best friends are males. I do have my core friends that are female, but I do have two male best friends that, yeah, anything goes, anything, you know. So yeah.
Do you think that's a lost art? Like a lot of these younger people don't know how to have that dynamic with how do I say this without being offensive? Like that male friend that's a man's man. That's not, that's not mimicking us as women, but that have that where they tell you, hey, that dude ain't like friend, that dude ain't what you think he is. Uh, you know, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
oh wait, I didn't see it. I feel like, so I know a while back, they had, I think it was, I don't know if it was Steve Harvey or somebody else, who he said, men are only your friends so that they can get with you later.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I agree, some men are like that,
Yes, I
but
know.
but then you have some men who are literally there to be your friend. A straight platonic relationship. Um, Both of my male friends, my closest male friends, I've been friends with them over 15, 20 years, and it's been just that, a platonic relationship. I'm not saying that it's for everybody,
Right.
but for me, I'm gonna say I'm lucky enough to have that.
Well,
So.
people forget that chemistry comes in all types of levels of relationship. So
Mhm.
you can have chemistry with a male, but it not be that kind of chemistry. That is just
Mhm.
friendship. You know what I'm saying? Y'all click, y'all like some of the same things. That you're cool with. Like I have a gentleman on my team who I'm very cool with. He's married. You know what I'm saying? But we're cool, and he's cool with the girl that brought him in is his coworker, and we're cool. Like we're sisters to him. You know what I'm saying? So not all people have a hidden agenda, and we have to kind of get that out of our head. Because
Mhm.
sometimes we miss out on valuable people because we think the worst. Once again, law of attraction. We think the worst over the best. You know, what I'm saying
Mhm.
best scenario. Sometimes we think the worst scenario. We've been programmed to think like that because of social media, the world. I mean, look at what's being perpetuated on TV with Love and Hip Hop and Housewives and the stuff, the scandalous stuff people do. You have to guard your mind and the
Listen,
content you're taking in because it will give you a certain complex about certain things
and
and
it's
what
so
you
crazy. You said Real Housewives, so I don't know. I was flipping channels and I forgot which one it was. I don't know if it was Atlanta or whatever. Real Housewives. and I'm constantly talking to my daughter about Mean Girls,
Mm-hmm.
and different things of learning to see like, hey, you know what, you are what you watch, you are what you read and what you see and who you're around. And I think like 5 minutes into the show, she was like, "So you tell me not to watch Mean Girls, but you watching Mean Grown Ups? Just change the channel, change the channel. I'm done. I say no more. You're right. So it's one of those things. We spend so much time trying to keep up with the celebrities and what they're doing, and it's like, granted, yes, it's reality, you know, so it's not real. It's not real life. It's not what they live every day, and some of them that is what they live every day.
Some do.
But for some people, they can't separate what's real and what's reality.
Mm-hmm.
So from a young kid's perspective, watching that, you would think that this is how you're supposed to act as a woman. This is how you're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to act as a man. And you're on TV with, well, this episode you have this woman, and next one you got this one, and oh, that episode you're showing both of them. Like, that's just not that's not normal, and that's not what it's supposed to be about.
Well,
So
the
I
thing
think
is,
that.
no, I had a thought that came across my head, but men see that energy. We have to stop underestimating that men don't see the real us. They
Mhm.
do. They're more intuitive than women give them credit for. Sometimes we sell ourselves a delusion that men don't see us for who we are. They do. Okay. Which is why sometimes we're more susceptible to being played with than they are,
Mhm.
because they can smell on you when you're insecure. They can smell when you are not truly confident. They know if you're a person of value. Like, how do I say? If you're dealing with somebody and they don't feel defensive about you, like meaning like they see somebody else looking and they don't have a jealous heart about you, you might not bring them much value.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, men knows
Well,
more value
not
than
that
what's not
you don't bring that much value. They just don't value you,
you to that
and
relationship.
that's the thing that I feel like it's not talked about enough to young men about valuing
Women
women,
and knowing the
whether it's
difference.
and knowing the difference.
Yes.
I think the focus is, oh, you are you for the streets? You for the streets? Not necessarily. Hey, you
Yeah.
know what? Her she's nice. She's smart. She's about her business. She's trying to help
Right.
you become a better version of you. It's one of those things like they only want the done up body, the beat
Yeah.
face, and it's like, baby,
But most men, this is another thing that's not talked about though. Most men are insecure themselves.
oh yeah,
Who's
definitely.
building them up? Who's telling them that there's more to life than that, because that 80/20 rule, remember, in Why Did I Get Married?
Girl,
He thought, oh, he
listen.
would rag his wife and he would do all this abusive, language to
Mhm.
her. And she really was a commodity. But because
Uh
she didn't
huh.
look a part and he was immature, and by the way, just because you get older don't mean you got more mature. I've met
Nope.
some men who are older at 50 and still act like they 20 mindset. And I've met some 30-year-old men who are way more mature.
Way more mature.
Okay.
Listen, like I always joke, and I always say people like, no, 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 I don't want the son, I want your daddy.
Mm-hmm.
But baby, the daddies be worse off than the son. Like, no, it's okay. I'm gonna stick with the son.
They
That's
be
okay. I
jaded.
take it back.
The thing is,
Mhm.
those men have been jaded and they have not taken ownership of their part they played in the situations they end up in. So they revert back to being little boys sometimes. The
Mhm.
30-year-old, he's been through some things, but not as much as the 50-year-old.
Yes.
So he got a little more resilience where he like, okay, let me, bounce back, and okay, it is what it is, and I can go out here. Um, but yeah, having male friends will kind of help in that situation. Um, The pros of a male friend, number one, you can talk to them about things. One thing about men, they don't sugarcoat anything.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um,
I definitely love
they
my
don't
male
sugar
friends.
they don't sugarcoat a thing, and not in a rude or disrespectful way. They just
No,
tell
it's
you the truth when you ask for it. They like, no, sweetheart, he's playing you. And they'll ask questions like, so what did he do here, and what happened here, and what
mm,
okay, and what did you do? And like they're gonna get to the bottom
yeah.
of it. They're not gonna just fly in your favor because you're a woman. Like no, no, no.
Mm-mm. And they're
Like
not. And you know how you always hear of different people like females. They'll just tell you something, and it's not necessarily for your good. It's just because, well, misery loves company. So
mhm,
I'm single. I'm a single mom. I want you to be the same way. So you go, hey, yeah, leave him, leave him.
mhm.
Whereas your male friend, he's not telling you to leave him because of anything. It's like, well, let's put some reasoning skills in here. Let's talk about this. Let's figure this out. And
Yeah.
it's not telling you to leave them just because I want you to be, miserable. I want you to be single and not work through something that's minor. But they tell you the truth, and sometimes it's a life check. Not
So
necessarily, to be malicious or anything. It's just a straight life check, and we
so
need
I
that.
so I have a female friend. We were out, right? And she's new to the dating scene, just recently divorced. Hold on. And people have been married before. You gotta like kind of gather them if you've been single for a minute. Like that ain't what you think out here. And there's a guy, we have a mutual friend. He was out and he like exposed a lot of stuff to her. He said, let me get your phone. He said, I'm gonna text these men that you're dating and show you why they're not serious about you. He said, this is me being a man. Okay, I'm just showing you. So he texted them all the same thing. And she was like, Nikki, that was an eye opener for me. She was like, I never thought to do that. And sometimes we need that male voice to show us the real and be off of stuff like, oh, okay, thank you for that. You know, um, that's the value you get because most girls are like, girl, go ahead and do. Like, you ever seen the movie He's Just Not That Into You? And at the beginning, it's showing how women we like kind of enable each other. Like, he only does that because he loves you. He's just hiding his feelings. He really does. Like, no, don't ever let a man tell you twice he don't want you. Like, he
No, no,
just
no,
shows you.
no, 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 no. Don't let them show you twice because they showing you. I'm sorry, that hurts more than you telling me. Like if you showed me once and I let it go, hey,
Hey,
and actions speak louder than words. And
they
I
sure
never
do.
believe anything different.
They sure do. And if you address somebody with about their actions and they try to play stupid, run, run, because that's gaslighting. And the one thing I've come to learn about males, there's nothing you can tell when something's real and fake, with them. Um, that's why fathers in the home are imperative. Yeah, still for the lack of order. Yep, and when a man leaves, yep, true. Like that treatment, like we accept the breadcrumbs. All women have been guilty of it, by the way. We've all been guilty. That's why I don't understand we as women why we judge each other when we go through things. Uh, like everybody been breadcrumbs. You just got to realize the pattern and lead a pattern and be like, I now everybody different strokes, different folks. Not all women, by the way, are looking for somebody to be with, just like all men ain't looking for somebody to be with or be a father or a husband. So we can't put everybody in a box once again. This is why you get to know people and ask questions. This is why you ask. You don't want to assume. Um, because some men just want to live their best life. And sometimes we as women think we can change somebody. And the man already
Listen,
told you his truth.
and not only that, you can watch a man go from person to person, relationship to relationship, but at the same time, as women, we also have to understand that men change for who they want to change for. You can bark all day, demand all day, push and nag or whatever you want to call it all day. But at the end of the day, he's gonna change for who he wants to. And, to watch him go from you and everything that you complained about, he goes to the
Mhm.
next relationship and does everything for her that all you were asking for. He changes for who he wants to change for.
Well, no woman gets the same. No two women get the same man.
Oh, that too.
They don't, because certain energies speak to other certain energies within that person. Just
Yeah.
like friendships. That's why you got different friends. Like we as female friends, we have certain female friends we talk to about certain stuff, and other female friends we have fun with. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because they speak to a different part of us. They're not that friend we do deep stuff with. And then we got the friend that we do talk about deep stuff with because we know she's wise. We know she's not messy. We know, you feel me? It's the same thing with men. They're, if that's not y'all dynamic, that's not y'all dynamic.
Mhm.
You can't force the
Well,
dynamic. Either that's your lane or that's not.
right.
You know, um, says God rearranges parts so that person wasn't for you, but needed you to tell them the truth for who they are for it. Yes.
Exactly.
Number one, the more that you hold on to something that's not for you, you actually push back what is.
Mhm. Yep.
Um, I was looking at actually a channel where he's talking about manifestation,
Mhm.
and he was like, it's not enough to say, Lord, remove them if they're not for me. He said, you have to actively seek the signs, and you have to actively be clear on what you are looking for. So if you in a phase, probably you don't care about that type of stuff right now, you're not looking for nothing serious, you as a woman don't have to apologize for that. It's not 1950 and you're not obligated to marry nobody by a certain time, okay?
Yep.
If you just want to have fun with people, do that. I have learned from my personal dating experience just to have fun with some people. Some
Yeah.
people are just be cool, have fun, don't waste time. But if that's what you want to do and you're not really looking for nothing, you don't have to fit in nobody else's box, or you're not on somebody else's timeline. If your life
Mhm.
doesn't allow for that, and right now you just want people you could kick it with and have fun with, you make that known. As you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's
but
okay.
and that's the problem though. A lot of people are not honest about what their intentions are in that at that time.
That's because they're not clear.
Um,
When you
but
clear,
they're not
you
clear. But and then also you don't a lot don't know what they want. They just
know.
know, oh, I need somebody. I gotta have somebody or whatever craziness you feed yourself. Um, but you have to be on, and that's the thing. You have to not only be honest with yourself about what it is you really want, what it is you really want to see in that relationship, whether it's a friendship or with your mate. But you have to be honest,
Yeah,
and but you have to know your own intentions as well before you're going into figuring out, well, what are your intentions for me? What are
right.
your intentions for yourself in this ship that you're in?
Pretty much. And are you honest about what this person is bringing to the table too? Um,
Yes.
don't like somebody to the point where you're blind to who they truly are. That's a dangerous place to be
Mhm.
in, male or female. Like, you just don't want to like people blindly. Like, that's not a good thing, because that's how you get taken advantage of. That's how people can do whatever they want to you. By the way, you do not have to be a total bitch in order to be heard. It's
No.
just, if men respond, we have the power. So the gentleman that's coming on next week, as our guest said, that he was like, you as ladies have the power. He said, we can be a total clown. You have the power. He said, and I'm not talking about in your pants. He said, I'm saying overall, you ladies have the power of what you
Mhm.
demand from us and what we will do, and to dismiss us. He was like,
Mhm.
you have the power. He said, the biggest misconception is a lot of women forget that. A lot of women forget they
No,
have the true
because
power
women are more for the opportunity of what can he really do for
for
me,
me.
not
Yep.
what can we do together, what can we build together, or hey, you know what, I'm stronger here and you're stronger there. How do we meet here and make each other strong and then move forward? So it's more so. Oh, I know people who you know I'm gonna loosely say they have I'm gonna loosely say they have standards of, if I'm dating him, he has to have six figures. He has to have this
Oh
and this and
yeah.
this. And it's like,
Yes.
like, Miss Ma'am, do you have six figures?
Right.
Do you have your own house and car? And oh, it has to be a luxury car, ma'am. You pushing
Right.
a Honda?
Uh,
Do
that you
not
bought
tell
from
me
buy here, pay here. What we
that
doing?
you bought from a B lot with a sensor on it to shut off when you don't pay it on time. No, ma'am. No, no, Miss Ma'am, Miss Ma'am. I don't want to
and,
hear it.
and sometimes men, let me tell you, some men are looking for a trophy and wonder why they didn't get. Okay, so this is another thing. Sometimes men go out for those girls because it's perpetuated. Sometimes, oh, she fly, she pretty. They come to find out the girl can't cook, she can't clean, she
I'm
can't,
not
and
touching
they're
this. Listen, I am not going to touch that part of this subject because um, I know, like, don't get me wrong. If you can afford to have a chef, and if you
yeah,
can afford to have a cleaning service, hey, by all means. However, man got to eat some home cooked meals. Man wants you to do something like, baby, cook me some
something.
bacon. But like, but I'm all for paying for things that would make my life easier to
Easier.
take
Heck
care of
yeah,
home, take
heck
care of
yeah.
you. But if the chef gets sick, what you eating?
Thank you. Because let me tell
What
you something. I
are
didn't
we
get chubby.
eating?
I didn't get chubby by sitting around wishing for it. Okay.
Ramen noodles is
Um,
not a meal. No, no,
no.
no,
Look,
no.
there's Food Network, there's apps, there's all kinds of stuff. And by the way, there's a lot of men out here who can actually outcook some women. The men in my family were the main ones that
Mm-mm.
used to cook everything.
Yes, yes, indeed. I
Uh,
listen. I had to call a friend of mine. Like, hey, I wanted to make some homemade biscuits. I knew who to call. I knew who to call. I had everything I needed, and he walked me through it. And they look way better than the ones I attempted before I called them. Like, I got it.
look, even if you can't cook and clean, sis, at least know how to go make some money. Okay? Okay. If you don't do nothing else
Okay.
in this life, can you go hustle? Like, I'm just
Now
saying,
let
you,
me
you can't just be out here with nothing. Like, can you do that at least? I mean, because like I said, those are non-money making activities. There's some women that are not good at that, but they know how to go hustle. A man know that
but
if
you
something happens to him, she can take care of stuff.
now let me ask you this: how do you feel about I'm sorry.
You start breaking up, man.
How do you feel about the what you would call a Mr. Mom?
A
Uh
Mr.
oh.
Mom. Oh, a
Can you hear me?
stay-at-home dad. Yeah.
Mr. Mom. Well, I shouldn't say Mr. Mom. That's rude. A stay-at-home dad. He cooks, he cleans, he gets the kids to and from school, blah blah blah. Like some men frown upon like, oh dog, you a stay-at-home dad? Nah, fam, that's weak. You supposed to be the provider, but in some instances, the women have jobs that can hold the whole household down. But
Yeah,
to
that's
save
cool. But the
money and
old
to
school
make
woman
things
in me,
easier,
that's cool. But the old school woman in me want to go see a man go work. It's just something about a
okay.
man who can
But
provide.
if you making six figures
Hmm.
or more or whatever, and whatever his profession was when you dated or married was not on the same caliber, a decision has to be made. So listen, I'm bringing in this amount of money. I can take all the bills, but if you take everything else, we
This
don't have
is,
to pay for
I mean,
daycare. We don't have to pay for these things.
that's
See,
cool.
what? I can't see that. See his help.
So if
What does
that
it say?
how she helps in his kingdom, it works. So basically, she's saying like the woman is the helpmate. You know what I'm saying? Um, and like I said, like I was raised old school, so even if I do make more than my husband, in actuality, being for financial services, you're actually supposed to live on the means of the person who makes the lower of the two. So if anything happens to the
Right.
breadwinner, male or female,
You're still
if
okay.
anything happens to the breadwinner, things are okay. You know what I'm saying? Um, because um, I'm always gonna be working doing something. I don't even want to stay at home like that. So,
So
but
the
if there's
virtuous
a
woman has
situation,
several jobs.
several jobs. So
Yeah.
if a
I mean,
woman like if a man has to stay and like say he got laid off and he wants to start this business, I got his back. Like if he want like if he's not satisfied because I'm big on entrepreneurship. So if say if he was somewhere like trying to make it and he want to do these things, I can't say that I love you and I don't believe in you. You know what I'm saying? Um, because I was what show was I watching? They got
but
divorced because of it. But he wanted to pursue something, right?
mhm,
And he was at home. They had no kids, but he was at home and trying to make it happen. He took some investments of theirs. He had a good job. He was making money. She still made good money, but she was getting kind of how do I say mad because she wanted an image. See, that's the thing that has to be discussed at the beginning. You know
mhm,
what I'm saying? You have to know the ideology of the person. You know, first and foremost,
right.
because she got mad and then started being disrespectful towards him. When really, you know, that's the same type of dude that will go make it, and she'll be right there like, "Well, I was his wife, and I was," and no, no, no,
Mhm,
no. You didn't want to believe in the dream, though.
mhm,
You wanted to have an image. You liked him for what he brought in his wallet versus him and himself. And that's a discussion
right.
y'all should have had because he should have
Way
been telling
before.
those real dreams beforehand, before you got
Now
married.
let me ask you this: for the person who the woman is the breadwinner and the man is, he takes care of home, would you see him in the same respect of leading the household, even though he is not the breadwinner in the house?
Yeah, if he's doing what he's supposed to do. Because there's men out here I don't respect if you out here just the thing is respect don't just come from the money you make. It's how you carry yourself, how you treat your
Mhm.
wife, how you treat your kids. Um, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like men think because they make money, they're in charge of you. Sometimes,
No,
some,
because
some
you
men,
can.
some men think
You.
that. Like, no, some men who are misogynistic and not mature think, oh
Mhm.
well, power. Like
Right. I bring all the money.
no,
It's all no. I mean,
it's not a power struggle.
right,
We
and
are
I asked
partners,
that, and
and so
I
we
asked that
have to find what works for
because,
us. you know,
um, yeah, I asked that because I've seen where the man is the breadwinner of the house, but when it comes to leading the household and leading the family, it was just
not
like,
doing it.
sir, you are dropping the ball. And she's trying to lead the house where he is messing up, but because he makes all the money, he feels like, no, I make the money, so I make all decisions. But you're not being a good leader. You're not leading us in the right direction. Yes, money wise, you're giving us everything, but you're not leading us in the right direction.
Well,
But I've also seen it where the woman makes more money than the man does, but she still gave him his respect, and I'm not gonna say allowed, but allowed him to be the man that he is and lead the family where they're going, whether he made the money or not. So that's why I asked, the perspective of, who made more, and do you still respect him the same way, whether he made some money or not?
yeah, I mean, if he's doing what he's supposed to do, because see, there's a lot of men I don't respect. They're gonna make money, but they out here dogging their wife in the streets. They out here sleeping with every other
Mhm.
woman, have families on the side, doing whatever they want. Um, that if he's not leading her in the right direction spiritually or any type of other
Mhm.
way, um, there's more to the dynamics to being a husband than just bringing home money, and a lot of people
And
don't
I
get that.
think no, and they don't. And I think that's another reason why, like, the young men, now are being raised by social media, because they only see the money. They only see, oh, he got all these cars, houses. He has a house on each coast, but it's like, okay, but how is he leading his family? How is he
Right.
leading his children to see, like, yeah, daddy worked hard for this and mom worked hard for this, but how are you leading them? How are you teaching them to be independent as they get older? How to, provide for their own families as they get older? And they're not. They're just living their best life while the woman picks up the pieces, and they're not really leading. They're just present.
Pretty much. There's a lot of men who like what was I watching? I'm not watching. I was reading this book. It's called The Energy Bus. And it's about this man. His day starts off. It's really good. If you listen to the Audible, it's actually animated. And it's a good book that even you can let young people listen to. But it talks about your energy and how some men think, oh, I go to work and I do this and that. And when I get home, I just want to relax and nobody bother me. And the husband um, was like stuck. How he woke up, his morning started off where his tire was flat. He had to get to work. The wife was like, well, I have to do this, this, and that. And he started seeing throughout the book how he was not present at home, how his energy affected his wife, his kids, that he had this
Mm,
energy that affected people at work. And the lady on the bus, he had to take the bus for a week. And on that bus, they had rules. And, are you being an energy vampire? Are you the person that changes the dynamic in the room? And a lot of men don't
mm,
realize as the leader, you bring the dynamic, you bring the energy. Your job doesn't stop because you clocked out at 9 to 5. Your life don't stop. Once you create a family and you are married and you have kids, that's your life now. You know what I'm saying? And not that you run yourself in the ground because you do need personal time. Okay. But not at the detriment of you not being present at home.
mm,
You know, people think, oh, well, I work 9 to 5. I deserve a beer. I deserve, like, I've seen shows where men think like that, like, oh, well, I deserve, well, your wife been at home,
Listen, your
with
wife
these
working
kids all
nine to
day.
five, picked the kids up, cooked dinner, did homework, all before 8 o'clock. She need a break
Right.
too. She needs
Right.
something too.
So it's
So
like, okay, why not have that break together? Or why not, hey, babe, when I get home, I'm going to, handle this part of stuff. It's a partnership. People don't get that. People think there are these defined roles that only this person's supposed to do and that person's supposed to do. It's teamwork make the dream work. You know what I'm
but
saying?
you know what too? I've noticed some men, they want the principles that their parents had, but they from their wife, but they don't want to be the principles that their dad had right now.
That part. See, you want to be out here on social media and people DMs, and
I'm
then
not even talking about
there's
that part.
good
They want
men
to,
who,
oh, it's happy hour at the bar. I want to be at the bar
yeah.
on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday after work.
Well, that
Okay.
also goes back to men not being able to express themselves emotionally too. Sometimes, you know what I'm
But
saying? If
there
you
has
think
to be a
about back in the
balance to
day,
that.
yeah, like back in the day, though, men didn't really complain. Men didn't really, you know,
Mhm.
get to express themselves all the time. They just worked. So, and a lot of good men didn't express themselves because there are a lot more good men than bad men. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's just that those bad men are highlighted versus the good men who are out there who don't complain, who do come home. I think a lot of times we complain more than we praise. And the
Yes.
more that you have the language of what you don't like about a person versus what you do like about them, all you're
Mhm.
doing is amping up that side of them versus the side that you want to come out. So like law of attraction, whatever you focus on is what is what manifests. So if all you talk
Mhm.
about is the bad side of somebody, that's all you're gonna get.
And that's all you're gonna get.
That's all you're
And
gonna
then
get.
you wonder why, like, well, why is he acting like this? Sugar
That's all you
baby,
perpetuate.
you
like
sugar
women will just
baby.
accuse their
If
man
you
all
keep
the time.
jumping on this man when as soon as you walk in the door, what you think he gonna say back to you? How about, hey, how was your
How you
day? What
doing?
made you no? What made you smile today? What
Look,
can I do for you right now to make your day better? And it don't
one of
have
my
to be an
friends
act.
shared
It could be just, baby, go get my slippers. Like,
One of my friends shared a post, and I want to share it before we close out. That was really, really good. It was men saying things that they actually like. Okay, they are sharing the things they wish women knew about them. This is a thread. First one:
mm,
just because I'm not talking doesn't mean I'm not enjoying my time with you.
mhm,
Okay. Two: we actually really want to be complimented too. A 60-year-old woman complimented me 5 years ago, and it still makes me feel good, which just shows how little we get compliments. Three, it's
Mm.
hard to get over you after a breakup. We don't really have emotional support systems in place to rely on. And a lot of men have small social circles. So losing someone means a lot to us. Four, we aren't great with hints. Communication is king. Five,
Yes.
when we tell women that we don't know how we feel about something, is usually true, and we genuinely don't understand how we are supposed to feel. I personally wasn't allowed to express emotions growing up, and it turned into me not being able to understand my emotions. Six, I
Mm.
really like to hang with my friends because I love them, not because I don't want to spend time with you. Seven, sometimes men just don't get hard. It's not you, as many things from lifestyle and diet to stress and anxiety.
I ain't buying that one,
Please
sir.
try
Keep that
not to
with
take it
yourself.
as some
No, I'm
kind of lack of attraction or affection. Sometimes it just happens. Men have emotions. Number eight, men have emotions, and there are points where we need to cry. Tears happen not just from pain, but also from joy. It's okay to make the first move. Guys can be shy too. Come talk to me instead of staring at me. We
playing.
don't know what we want to eat either. We like random gifts, random hugs, and random signs of affection and love. Sometimes just a cup of coffee and my favorite mug is enough to convince me it's going to be a good day. 12. Let's see. What's another one? When we say we're thinking about nothing, the majority of the time we really are thinking of nothing. Or maybe we are thinking of ridiculous, made up scenarios that sound stupid when we say it out loud. Men love being the target of a romantic gesture. Many men never have been.
Mm.
And 15, please ask us out. It makes us feel wanted and loved. 16, playing hard to get does not work at all. 17, we get angry, get depressed, we get sad, we want to cry and be held at times too. Being told by one of my exes that real men don't cry when I was really at a low point only further pushed me down that dark hole. Please don't do that.
Mm.
That ish hurts and sticks with us. If you don't want to hear the truth about something, don't ask me to tell you the truth because I'm going to tell you the truth every time. Didn't we say that? Sometimes men just need some
Yes.
alone time. We can be uncomfortable with unwanted physical contact as well. Tell us more about what you like in bed. We don't really care about makeup and just want you to be healthy and happy. Any guy who wouldn't be attracted to you without your makeup is the crappy person.
Because you don't wake up like that.
Either way, you're gonna take me how you're gonna take what I get, okay?
Listen, because I'm
But
gonna give all that I can give, and sir, you either
but
like it or you love it. Because I love it. You either get on the
hey,
bus or get off. I don't care.
hey, don't matter to me. So today's show, this was a really good discussion. I loved it. I can't wait for next week. It's funny because my guest wife was like, when is he coming on the show? Monica, husband, is excited to be on
Oh,
the
I
show next
love
week.
Monica. Yay!
And he's like, when am I? He was asking me questions at the last event. So what am I gonna say? What should I wear? He's so excited. Okay, and he's a
I can't
firecracker.
wait to have him. Is Monica gonna be with him too?
We can see if she wants to be on with him. His Yeah, 'cause they have a great
Listen, because
dynamic.
I would love to have the both of them on together, just for their dynamic, and then just to get her like but I'm definitely excited for not just for having him on next week, but just for the topic of the month and how each gentleman that we have on and just their take and perspective on different things. Um, and how they are now, versus how they were in their 20s or 30s or even as children. So just to get that other dynamic and just, focus on, all of our men and entrepreneurs that we have on this month. So definitely looking forward to the conversation.
Okay, I love it. So, guys, thanks for joining us today. Tune in next week, 6 o'clock. We're gonna have a guest, and it's gonna be a great time. And I'm telling you guys right now, tell everybody because this gentleman here don't hold no punches. We have great conversations, and he's hilarious. Okay, so if ever you wanted the truth about anything, definitely, 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 this is the this is gonna be the show you want to watch. So I look forward to seeing everybody next week. AJ, it was fun talking again on our show, and next week is gonna be lit. The rest of this month is gonna be fun.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you very much, and glad to be on with you as always. Thank you guys for tuning in with us, Rock True Queens, where we rock truth or nothing at all. Peace.
Peace.